Alright, I am excited about this. I have got white, gray, red, and black. And I have cut them down to 2-inch strips. And I'm going to sew all these together to make a Bargello quilt. I've been wanting to make one, and I finally can do it. So, let's get started and sew all these together. It takes 4 strips to make 1 panel. It takes 16 panels to make a twin. It takes 32 panels to make a full size. So let's get started. I have my 16 panels sewed together now. So we need to make another one exactly like this one, so we will have enough to go across our bed. Alright, this is the way I'm doing it. I'm putting my finger in between the two, and I'm keeping it, and I'm just letting it go through and lining it up, and let it go through all on its own. And I do all of them the same. Okay, out of 2 yards of white, that's what I have left over. And so is the gray and the red. Now the black, I got 2.5 yards. And this is what I have left over out of it. Now, I have my 2 panels done. Now I am going to iron them, and I am going to trim them down to where they're all even here, and I'm going to go ahead and make my tube. Okay, I've got an iron. I figured I'd show you how I'm going to trim it down. I have it folded in half, then in half, and in half until I got it down to this size, so I can manage it. Now I have 1 red block that's way down in here, and this is where I am going to trim it out. I'm going to lay it straight on a line, and then I'm going to go to another line up here to cut it straight. I'm going to cut it all the way down. Alright, so we got this part done. Now we're going to go down here to the other end, and I'm going to do the same thing. Line it up on a line. Go to my shortest one, which is right here, and I'm going to line it up with a line. I need to go a little bit further up with it, so it will be, make sure it's straight on my line there. Okay, I went too far up. Don't want to go that far. Go down, there we go. Oh yeah, that's better. Okay, and then we are going to chop it. Chop it. Do it again. So now I have this, and we're going to make it into a tube next. So I'm going to cut the other one. Alrighty, good morning. We're going to start on this. We got our tube lined up here. I have my seam ripper, and I have put numbers on these up to 20. So I'm going to do 20, sew them together, do 20, and sew them together, so that it will make it easier. So, and I have my board, my ironing board. Yeah, you'll be able to see the how it's going to line up as I go. So the first thing we need to do is we need to re-trim it. So I'm going to cut 1 inch off of it so that it can be re-trimmed. Now if you have different colors, you're going to want to save this so that you'll be able to know where your first one, your second one, and all that is. But I only have 4, so it's going to be easy for me to take care of it. So I'm just going to lay it up here because I really don't need it. Now I do not like to start off with real short. Okay, as I was saying before I got interrupted, we are going to, I do not want to go any less than 1 inch, but we are going to start off with 4 inches, and we are going to cut our 4 inches. So that's going to be our first one on our quilt. Now we want to open it up, and we want a white one to be at the beginning. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this, take our seams out, all of them, all the way through. Don't rip it because it will mess up your material. I've already learned that. We need seam ripper. And we will seam rip it down. The smaller ones are easier to do. Alrighty, I am going to mark this one 1. And I'm going to lay it right here. Okay, let's see, we want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 down. Oh, maybe I ought to go more than that. Let's see if I can't just make it level down here and go from there. Okay, my next one, I'm going to want 3. So we've got 1, 2, 3. 3. Make sure I got this right. And then we're going to cut it. Okay, our next color in line is gray. So we're going to want to cut the gray. Cut right here, no, not really cut, but take loose our stitches in the gray. And this one is going to be number 2. And we want to go like that and then down. Like that. There we go. There we go. You already see it taking form here? Okay. Our next one, we want to go to 2 inches. And we want red. And we're going to put a 3. Now we're going to go down to a 1. And we have, I think it's black, white, gray, red, and black now. And we're going to mark this one 4. I got a 5. I don't want my 5, I want 4. So, here we go to line that one up. Down. Okay. Now we want to go and we want to cut another 1. And we start over with white. And this is number 5. Alrighty. Now we want to go back to a 2. And this one right here will be white. Black, I think it is. Let's see what we got here on our top one. Yep, it'd be red. Red. So we'll just grab a red one. And we want number 6. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, my next one, I'm going to do a number 2. And I forgot my color. Let's see. The white, gray, black. No. White, gray, black. Red, black, white, gray, red. Sorry about that. It does get confusing. Okay. Even with the 4 colors, just think if we had more. I think it's going to turn out pretty. And I have been wanting to do one like this, even though it is just 4 colors and all. I think it'll turn out good. Let's see, it should be right there. Alright. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get off here and I'm going to write down my numbers and everything and put what color it is beside it so we can do it easier. Okay, I'm just doing these random. Just staying with 1s and 2s and 3s. This time I think I'm going to go and I'm going to do 2 1/2. So, I mean, I'm just playing with it as I go. 1 2 1/2. I'm just playing with it as I go to try to get what I want. And that is to look good, and I hope it does. So now this right here is 8, and we want a black. So we are going to go with a black. So here is my 8. I think it's starting to look pretty good. So now, let's go back down to a 1. Scoop this over on my line. And we'll go back down to a 1. Like I said, I'm just playing with it, doing it as I go. So, this right here is number 9, and we want to wait. Marking down the colors did help. So, number 9. Drop it in the floor. And there we go. That's what. Okay. I really think it's looking pretty good. It's like more like a checkerboard and all. But I'm liking it. I think it's pretty. And I think it's going to be pretty when we get it all together. So, I'm going to go ahead and go off, and you see how I'm doing it. I'm just, playing with it as I go. So, I am going to get off of here and do some more. Yeah, you can see a pretty good colors there lining up. And all, I think it looks pretty good. Okay, a couple things I want to go over with you. Now, say for instance, your blocks are not lining up the way they should line up. Simply just turn them around and see if they work before you take them apart. I took this apart because I thought it was wrong, and all it needed to be was turned the other way. This strip right here needed to be turned. And in the process of taking it apart, I ripped my block. So what I did, I took the scrap from off of where I cut it off of, and I just sewed another one in it. So that's a good tidbit there to try to help you out. But I think it is turning out pretty good. I've got this one and this one sewed. I had this one until I messed it up and I turned it around. So as you can see how I've got it, and it's looking pretty good, and I'm happy with it. So let me get back to sewing. Okay, so now since we moved everything around and we got the way that we want it and all, let's just pick a color. We'll pick gray here. So we want gray down, then back up, then down, 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 back up. So we switched the colors around and we've got it going like that. So now all we got to do is finish sewing them together. And I wish I'd have sewed these two together too. I want it to be the perfect, perfect across. But it's working really good, and I am happy with it. So now let's get to sewing. I do believe I am ready to. I want to show you something that may help you out as you're doing these. Now when you're going down, if it does not line up, you could take and push one or two of these up and it'll come back up in line. So, let's see if I can show you what I'm talking about. Let me go down. So far they're lining up. So I reckon it's a good thing. Okay, right here is one that does not line up. See, if you take the bottom one and just make it go up. Like, see, when you sew it, it'll go like this. But if you make it go up, then it will change. It'll change the setting and put it where it needs to be. And you can do the top just the same as you go. Like right here, see if we can't get those colors lined back up. I can't believe that did that. Right now, we want that one to go down. There we go. Now it's starting. So if you just play with it and find out which way that they need to go and all, then they'll line up really good. Because I had them sprayed out like this, every other one, but it did, for some reason it didn't keep it. It didn't keep it, so I'm like, okay, we'll play with it until I get it right. So, there's your another tidbit. Okay, I have each one of them sewed in two. So I'm going to go back and start sewing them in two again until I get them done. Now from this space to this space, this is how much seam allowance I have used. So that's a lot that this has taken up. So it's kind of weird, ain't it, the way it just takes up so much space. So I thought that was very interesting to look at. So I'm going to get busy and continue on. Alright. This is the one I haven't cut yet. And this is the one I've already sewed together. You see how much it takes up? So it really, really takes a lot of material for this. But, hey, you got to work for it to make it look good. I think it really does. So now, I have this one done. And I'm really happy with it. I think it's beautiful. It goes down and up and down. I mean, it's like, okay, it's confusing. So, I am going to take it up from here, and I'm going to work it on out. So, we'll be back, and I'll show you what I'm going to do from right here out. Okay, now we're going to start cutting on this thing. I have already used 10 spools, not, the bobbin. I've used 10 of the bobbin. So we are going to trim this one down, and we are going to start working on it on down. There we go. So, let's get busy on that. Now, we got that trimmed off. Now, we want to see where we're at here. And we are going to go on down with the gray. So, I'm going to go by the gray because the gray I can see it better than I can all the other ones with the pattern, because that's just the way I feel. Okay, so what we're going to do is right here, let's cut us a 2-inch one. And just like I did before, I just took it at guess and went on with it. So, here we go, and the very top one is a red, but I want my gray to go down further. So, I'm going to go up here, and look, it's gray. So we're going to take our gray. And we're going to take the thread out. And we're going to find our 1. And I'm going to lay it here. Okay. I think I need to turn it around. So I was saying, it doesn't take much to mess you up and confuse you. So, there we got that one. Now let's go with another 2. I wonder how this right here would work if we just kept on going with 2 all the way through. Only one way to find out is one day do one. So now, you want to check this out. I want my gray to go on down. And of course, I'm just going to lay it up here and go for it. So here is a white one. See how easy it is just by me turning it to mess you up. So, let's see. Is that the one I want? Yep, that's the one I want. So now we're going to go through another 2 is what we did. Number 2. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and play with it, and then I'll be back. Okay, something I forgot to do, and that was to cut my 4 inches for the very last block. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it, and I'm going to lay it aside, because it will be my last one. I want to make sure that I get my color the way I need it. So we'll just set it aside. So I'm going to continue to go ahead and cut them out. Think she's laying on my quilting stuff, but she's laying on the scraps. Over here is where I'm working at now. I'm just about done with this one. I got to go down this one, then I got to iron it, and then I'm going to sew it to this one. So we're almost there. Well, there is this part of it, and it goes all the way down almost to the floor. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, there my beaky baby, is I'm going to put a wide black border on this side and the other side over there. But other than that, man, if you look at it in person, it does something to your eyes. It does something to your eyes. But it's beautiful. This video does not do it justice at all. It's beautiful to me. I think it's beautiful. Okay, so now we're going to work on the 2 sides. I have it back on my bed again. And I put a Hollywood style frame underneath it to make it higher, because this quilt is really long, and I'm really thinking about cutting it down a little bit. But I'm going to put an 8-inch border again on this side, because see how it only lays right here. And if I put this border on, it will lay further down. I can't get it. Let's try it that way. So you see it brings it down a little more. And I'm going to put it on both sides. But I am thinking about cutting some of this off down here because it's really long. And I don't know. I have to pass it off with the boss. So far, that's what I'm doing. Boss says to take 8 inches off. Then I'm going to put a black border on it, and then a wide border all the way around it. But I'm going to put a 2-inch border on the top and the bottom. And then we'll see from there what we need to do. 9 inches off of it. So I went to do something else real quick, and now I come back, and now I have to stop. I can't sew my black on down here or at the top because she's in the way. I've got it on there, and I've got the side on there, which it comes down the way I want it. And once you put the pillows at the top, then this right here will work out pretty good, and it comes out over here. Well, I am done with it for now until I find a backing for it, because I don't have enough material to make a backing. So we're going to have to put this one aside until I get done, till I can find a backing to it. So far, I'm enjoying it. Alright, I got my batting laying across my bed and down. So now we're going to put on the backing. You can't see it because it's black. I have my back on. Where the white is here is the side, and then down here where this is black, and then you see my batting. I have it that way all the way around, even on this side. Okay, now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to pin all the way around. I have up here at the top, right here, my black that's on my quilt top, which is upside down. Then I have my black here, which is my backing, and then I have my batting. So I am going to take and pin all the way around, and then I'm going to sew all the way around and leave an opening so I can turn it around. This is a huge quilt, so it's going to take me a little while to do, but I am ready to do it. Okay, now all in the middle of the quilt top, I have safety pins pinned all through it, and on the black I have safety pins pinned through it. On the outside here I have these kind of pins and these kind of pins, and I've run out of pins, so I had to go to these. So now my next thing is I'm going to take it and I'm going to sew it all the way around on the white right here, all the way around, and I'm going to leave an opening. But now I'm not going to trim it until I'm done, because it may have to shift one way or another, and I hope it don't have to shift much over here. But there it is, and we are going to get started and go to sewing. Okay, I hope you see my sewing machine here. I'm taking the pin out, and I'm leveling this up, because I know from here, from the black that I have a pin there. So I can level it up and scoot it down and sew it. Because now it does, see here how we got a bolt there? So that's what we need to make sure we don't have in between. So what we're doing is we're pulling it out, and leveling it out, and then going on. So that's the way I'm doing this, so that it may help you out. And I'm going to do it all the way around. Okay, when I get to the corner of my white here, I'm putting my needle down, picking it up, and I am turning it. Put my needle down, and continuing on. Alright, just a little thing to show you that it does end up leveling back out, because here I am back at this pin, and I'm back at where I need to be. So I was just off a little bit over there, but it will come back around to where you're right back on track. And I have my buddy with me. I have it sewed all the way around, except for from here, all the way down to here, so that I can turn it around. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take all these pins out and everything and turn it around. And I'll try to show you how I'm doing that. Okay, right here is where my opening is. I left the flap here. That'll make it a whole lot easier when we go to sew it the right way. And you want to make sure that you cut your corners to where they will lay flat. You know, have a good point there. Okay, so now I know to expect safety pins as I go through. Like I have one right here. I have a pin, and it is on the other side, so I don't have to worry about that one because this is where my point is. So I'm just going to start grabbing it and pulling it through. And as I go down, I'm going to make sure I don't have any pins in that area. That's why you need a big hoe to turn it around. So now I'm going to go down, doot, 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 till I get to the end of it. Where is it at? Okay. Now we're going to go down this way. And we're going to come down here. We're going to pull it through. Then we're going to go down. Now I'm still expecting pins. So far, I'm doing pretty good without not having any. But I'm still going to expect it throughout. Okay. So now we're going to keep on turning it. And turning it. And bringing it out. And watch your batting that you don't tear your batting. That would be a big waste. Now then, turn it around. And spread it out. Level it out. Okay, I'm going to continue this and then I'll be back. I got my scissors. Be real careful with them that you don't punch a hole in it. But you take your scissors and you go to your corner and you punch them out, but don't go through the material until you get a good corner. So I'm happy with that. So thank you, my husband. Got it all flattened out again. Now then, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the top, and I am going to put a pin in right up in here. Let me show you. Okay, like this right here. Put it, there we go. See how I got it pinned? And I'm going to do that all the way around the outside of it. And then I'm going to come inside, and I'm going to put my pins back in it so I can sew it down to the batting and make it the sandwich. So here we go with that. I have them pinned. Now, and I have them pinned right here on the corner. Now when we go to sew it, we want to start here and we're going to want to go all the way across. I have 2 pins here and here, you see, and they're all like that. They are like 8 inches apart, 6 inches, whatever this ruler is, apart. And it will be enough to hold the batting on there. And all I'm going to do is just sew it straight down to hold it together. And I may end up taking it and going this way too. I'm going to look at it when I get it sewed down, and then I'll see. But other than that, I'm going to go and start sewing all of it down this way, because this is the shorter end of the quilt, and I don't have a big arm on my sewing machine. So each one of these has a pin down here that shows me that this is where I need to stop at. So we're going to go start on all that good stuff. Black, you can't see nothing. You can see that white right here. This right here, I've been trying to sew it with invisible thread, and it will not sew on my sewing machine. It won't sew. It keeps on clogging it up and throwing my bobbin off, and I have to take my sewing machine apart. So I'm going to have to do this by hand. So after I clean this mess up, what I'm going to do is just take and sew by hand down in between where I've done. And it'll take me a while to do it, but it's the only thing I know to do. So I'll get this on when I can. Just so you can see what I'm doing, I'm still going in between my 2 safety pins, and I'm starting over here at this corner, and I'm putting my thread in, and then I'm going through it. I know you can't see it, but I have one side here and one side here, and I'm putting it down. And it's hand sewing. I'm going through and I'm grabbing the bottom and pulling it up all the way through. And I'm just making a whole line all the way down. I've always wanted to make one of these things when I've seen them. And, yeah, I'm really making it now. And I may have to take it and go through the other direction too, since I am doing this by hand. And I'll gotta catch all of it all the way down. The reason why I want to use invisible thread is because any other type of thread you'll be able to see it, and I don't want it to be seen. I want all the shine that the quilt brings out, the colors, all on its own. I don't want nothing to distort it. And a different color will most definitely distort it. And we do not want that. So, there you are with that. So I'm going to see what I can do about getting her done. Ouch. Stuck.
He left early. Larry left early. Dude, get this.
Big old goofy dude looks like
Mario.
or
Larry.
Oh
His
yeah.
fat dude. He looks like he's crazy.
I'm gonna start doing that shit for Larry. He left early.
Yeah. He said I was fucking fat Hitler.
I'm not gonna say nothing else to him.
I got that coin today. I got all kinds of coins now. I got
Done. It is beautiful. It has. Look at that. Oh, you all you really don't know what kind of trouble I've had with this on camera and off camera. I have had trouble with this one. It's not the material. My sewing machine tried to break down on me, and a lot of other things been going on, but I got it done, and I am so happy. Now let me show you see if you can see. Alright, see how this right here looks like a heartbeat? Then this one right here has a little bit more of it, and a little bit more of it, and then this right here is a straight line. So, hopefully you can see that, but it is done, and it is beautiful.